Matthew
Looks to get in! Burnley lead! What a finish from Chris Ward!
Moments, the ball is good, and the goal is good! New Zealand incredibly!
Winston Reid is the man! And West Ham lead for the second time tonight!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ferns, a podcast discussing topics themed around football, specifically New Zealand's teams and players. Hosted by myself, Toby, aka Mr. Hans, and Davis of Davis Plays. We will be answering questions given to us via hashtag AskFerns. In today's podcast, we will round up the results, the upcoming fixtures, your questions and predictions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And before we get into the podcast, do remember to follow at Ferns Podcast on Twitter to be able to ask us questions for the upcoming episodes. Question periods on Twitter will be released a week before recording and release. Now on to the results. SSV Jan Regensburg won by a thrashing of 4-1 against the recently relegated Schalke 04. Sarpreet Singh contributing with another goal for his team, bringing Singh to 5 goal contributions in 4 matches officially. Unlucky again for the Clarets as they started off pressing and winning the ball deep, but not bulging into Allison's goal. The game ended 2-0 with a header from Diogo Jota and Sadio Mane with a half volley 1v1 with the keeper. Callum McCallum and Elijah Just both back onto the score sheet after their last match against Lyngby. Sadly, their efforts weren't enough to win the game as it ended 3-3. And lately for Kakache, it's been hard with Kortrijk winning 2-0 against STVV with Kakache starting on the bench. Goals coming from the first play of the game and the last. That is your results rounded up for this episode.
So in the first episode, both me and Toby gave our predictions for the upcoming fixtures with all the Kiwis. So first of all, St. Truden versus UPenn. Now the actual result was 2-1. I predicted 2-0 win to UPenn and Toby predicted 1-1. So none of us was right. Kakache wasn't playing, no, he was on the bench. And FC Helsingør versus, I just say Vin Diesel. It was actually 3-1 to Helsingør. McCallum and Elijah Just scored a banger. I believe they were 3-0 up. They actually, I would say, bottled it with our 2-0 up, and then they went 3-2 down, and then they made it 3-3. So it was a hell of a game, but still bottling a 2-0 lead. Now, I got the prediction bang on. I said 3-1 Helsingør win, and it was a 3-1 Helsingør win, which is perfect. Toby predicted 2-0 as well. Now, for Burnley versus Brighton, it was 2-1 to Brighton. I predicted 1-1 with a Chris Wood goal, and Toby predicted 1-0 to Burnley. Sadly, both of us was wrong.
Now on to transfer. So over the week, Joe Bell was linked with Championship side Barnsley, but the £500,000 transfer fee wasn't enough to persuade Viking FK and was rejected. But there is rumoured to be interest from other teams in the league. And All Whites travelling reserve Matthew Garbett has completed his move to Torino, where he will be playing in the Under-19s Youth League of Italy. The youth team has won the most titles in the league with 9 trophies. And onto the starter, there's been a lot of controversy following the decision whether or not we should get rid of our beloved All Whites moniker for racial purposes. Your thoughts, Davis? Are you in favour of this?
I mean, no, I don't see why. I don't know where it's come from. I just checked my Twitter, and I see, I think it's Jason Pine, I think his name is. He's, high up on the Wellington Phoenix board, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. And yeah, I don't know, that's where I first saw it, and I'm like, why? It doesn't make sense. We've got the All Blacks as a rugby team. We've got the All Whites as a football team. Why does it have to change? Because, I grew up watching New Zealand football, thinking, the All Whites. That's how I always watched it. My family, we always said we're going to go watch an All Whites game. Well, obviously we couldn't go to it, but we're going to watch it on the TV. I remember, I think it was World Cup qualifiers a few years ago against Peru. I've never once in my life called the New Zealand football team the New Zealand football team. I've called us the All Whites. So I don't know why we even want to change it. What do you think, Toby?
I'm surprised if they were choosing to change it. I'm not sure why it took this long for them to actually decide, we're going to change it. And
yeah, true.
They just don't. You can kind of see why they want to do it, because we do stand for diversity, which is why we're quite a kind country. We're a very
Peaceful. Definitely.
Peaceful, equal. We stand for equality, and I guess that's why. And it does seem weird to have a team called the All Whites, but that's always referred to the shirts that we're wearing, not
Yeah, and
skin colour
another
of
thing here
our
as well.
footballers.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but another thing here as well is
So good.
obviously New Zealand definitely are all about equality and all of that. But if they do take the All Whites name away for the football team, then surely they got to take the All Blacks name away from the rugby team as well, because otherwise that's just biased towards rugby. Because obviously New Zealand football is nowhere near as popular as New Zealand rugby. Like, New Zealand's sport is rugby. That's what we're known for. So if they want to take the All Whites name away, in my opinion, for it to be fair, they have to take the All Blacks rugby team name away as well, which I don't see a point in doing that, genuinely.
I mean, to be honest, I just can't see myself ever just living in a world where I'd call All Blacks the New Zealand national rugby team and the
Honestly,
All Whites
yeah.
the national football team. Just imagine just going up to your friend and saying, "Yeah, I'm going to watch the New Zealand national men's rugby team tonight."
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue like All Blacks.
Exactly.
It's just really what I want to see. Hopefully it doesn't go through, but I mean, you can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah, we definitely do see where it's coming from, but in my opinion, I'm against it. Against changing the name. So on to the question period. Now, if you guys don't know, on Twitter, at the Ferns Podcast, we ask you guys every week to give us questions with the hashtag AskFerns. Twitter is the only platform, you could say, that we are on that we can actually interact with you guys, because obviously we've got the YouTube to upload the full podcast and the clips, Spotify to upload the podcast and all of that. So wherever you're listening, if you do have a Twitter, make sure to chuck us a follow at the Ferns Podcast so you can get involved if you do want your questions answered. So starting off, Ruben, aka Cheese Goal, asks, will Chris Wood score another 10 plus goals this season? Will Burnley survive, or is it their time to go down to the Championship?
I mean, obviously, I don't want them to. I want Chris Wood to. I think he'll get there, but with the current form he's in, I think it's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah, definitely. And as well, Chris Wood, it takes him a while. Like, if you look at last season, I think he didn't score until, like, the 5th game or so. So it takes him a while to actually warm up and get involved to start scoring in the Prem. Like, Burnley haven't had an easy row. Obviously, Brighton, Liverpool, I mean, no one's expecting Burnley to beat Liverpool. I think they've got another team, and I think they've got Arsenal and another tough team after that. So, I don't know. It'll be tough, but I think maybe around game week 6 or 7, I think Chris Wood will start bagging a few.
He did score against Newcastle in the EFL Cup from a penalty, so it's getting there.
That is true. That is very true. And as for, I mean, personally, I think I hope he'll score 10 plus goals, same as Toby. Who knows realistically? Now, Toby, do you think Burnley will survive? We've already done our Prem predictions, so I already have my answer, but Toby, do you reckon Burnley will survive?
Controversial ones.
Honestly, you put Brighton and Newcastle to get relegated?
Yeah, yep. No, but I do think Burnley will survive, but they'll be hanging on to a thread near the end.
You know, Burnley are one of the teams that they perform against. Against big teams, but exactly, they're one of the teams you can't get rid of. They don't really embarrassingly lose to big teams like Liverpool. Liverpool were obviously by far the better team, but they only won 2-0. You know, they show up against big teams, and I don't think they've lost by like too much from a big team, like more than 4 or 5 goals for a long time. They're just a classic Brexit defending team, and they just try and hit on the counter, target Chris Wood, and obviously I think it's Ashley Barnes as well. I don't know, because I said I don't think Burnley will get relegated in my predictions. I said I think Burnley will get 17th or 16th. They just survive it. I don't know. Into game week 2, it's hard to tell, but I think Burnley will stay up still, and I don't know. I think Chris Wood will come around the 10 goals.
They do have a respectable defense with Ben Mead, Tarkowski, and Nick Pope.
Exactly.
So it's not like the worst defense in the world, but they're not the best in the world.
Their defense, I reckon, is Premier League quality. Their defense is not championship quality. Their attack, I think Chris Wood is good. Ashley Barnes, they do the job. I think it's their midfield we are really lacking, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the midfield's done quite well in recent years, but it's not the best. It's just,
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't think the midfield's up there, really, but who knows.
Sweet.
And this one was sent in by Harlan Season 9. Predictions on the A-League. Davis, what are we thinking?
I don't know, man. As a Phoenix fan, obviously,
Phoenix fan coming
I
last
want,
because
we
we
want
don't
top
have a
6.
team.
Honestly, bro, I want to say we want to get top 6, but we've signed like we've gone through it in the last one. We signed a Serie C dude, re-signed Gary Hooper, and that's really it. We've seen departures of Devlin, Davila to another A-League club. Hema's gone to Western Sydney. Right now, I'm not confident in Wellington at all. They have to get signing. I don't even think we've got a big enough squad to actually play a professional game at the moment. So I'm not confident for Phoenix, but I will say I do think if Mclaren stays at Melbourne City, I think Melbourne City will have another chance. Sydney FC always perform. They're literally probably the best A-League team of all time, no doubt. So I'll say Sydney, Melbourne City, and I hate to say it, Macarthur as well with Davila. So I feel like they're probably in for the win. What about you, Toby? Who do you think will win it?
I'm thinking Melbourne City, to be honest, at this point in time, unless Jamie Mclaren leaves. Now that I'm thinking about the Phoenix and their transfer situation, I just realised it's going to be really hard on them to gain the funds if all their biggest assets have left on free transfers.
Yeah, exactly. I guess they are clearing up like Hemi's wage, and then the good thing with Wellington Phoenix is they feed off of, is it Team Wellington in the New Zealand division?
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
feed off of a Team Wellington, which is like a semi-pro team. They just feed off of their players.
'Cause when
So
they're
they could
getting
literally
a
just take
16
Hema's
goal,
wage, and then, yeah, I'm pretty sure. He's freaking 6
it's
months
like
older than me. Madness.
like a Dharma
I think January
something.
2005. Yeah, man. But like the thing is, I feel like they won't struggle to get the full squad capacity to be able to play the game because they'll literally just get someone from Team Wellington or get lots of players, take Hemed's wage and just cut that into free because obviously you're not going to be giving a 16-year-old kid the wage of a 29, 30-year-old striker that's left. So I think we won't struggle to get a 30-man squad. I'm just really worried about the quality.
And this might be like a wake-up call where we just start rebuilding and start, like Barcelona, just utilize our youth players and then just give them professional experience and then like train them up. Because right now we're not looking good right now, and if we go like, hey, we might go really low in the table this season, but if we keep progressing, we might get there eventually.
Yeah, bang on, mate, bang on.
And do you think Gary Hooper will have a good season? Jack had him on an old Celtic jersey, number 88.
He did play for Celtic, didn't he? I think he'll have a good season, yeah. Was it? It was the season before last, wasn't it? When we still had him. We didn't have him last season, did we? He put up
We
okay
had Tom
numbers.
Hemed.
Yeah, it's the one. I think was it the season was a 19/20 season. I think he played right cam for some games, and he played up top some games, and he actually put up okay numbers. I think he got like 6 or 7 goals, but he actually contributed with assists quite well. I don't know.
Pretty
He performed
sure
in
David Ball
19/20.
played right cam.
Yeah, no, that's the one. I think Hooper was striker, wasn't he? I don't know. It was one of those
Yeah.
two, but he put up good numbers.
Backwards header.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. That's a banger. I don't know. He didn't put
Stay
up
alive.
crazy numbers. Like, he didn't put up Roy Krishna level numbers. And obviously, it's 2 years later now, so he's obviously going to be declining. I think he's like 32, 33. I think he'll have an okay season.
I think he's
I think he'll be okay.
mid-30s.
Yeah, he'll be okay. I don't think he'll be crazy, but I think he'll do the job. He'll bag a few goals. I'm predicting, if I have to predict the goals he scores, I'm going to say he's going to finish with 6 goals and 2 assists. So I mean, A-League standards, that's not terrible.
We'll go really optimistic and go 10 goals, 3 assists.
The thing is, I think Hemed finished with 8 or 9, didn't he? Or 10. Did he get 10 for us? Hemed?
I have no idea.
I think it was around that 10 mark.
He was averaging, I think, about a goal or 2 a game.
Yeah, it was ridiculous because we didn't even play him for every single game, did we? But to answer your question, I think he'll be okay. Oh, he'll be okay.
I think he'll do alright. He is A-League worthy though. He's proven he can hold himself in the league, but I'm not sure how his age is going to affect that.
Yeah, definitely. Nah, 100%. He's very experienced as well. Playing for Celtic, English, he's got experience. It's the one as well. Yeah, he's got experience.
Too.
Yeah, English football, English striker, played for Celtic, did all right when he came in the 1920. I don't see why he'd necessarily flop. So yeah, he'll do okay.
And Jamie Mclaren, will he have another banger season?
Well, how much goals did he get last year? I think it was like 20 something.
A lot.
Yeah, he definitely got a lot. I don't think he'll
pretty much
reach that amount again. Jamie McLaren's a baller. Don't get me wrong. Chris Wood is clear. But nah, I think he'll have another good season. There is links. I think there was rumors to him going to Israel or something, the Israel League or something like that, and just chase it back because he's only 27. Or 28. So, I don't know, if he stays in the A-League with City, I think he'll have another 20-plus goal season, but I don't think it will be, like, around there. I think he might have got, like, 30 goals last season. I don't know, something ridiculous. I don't think he'll have as good of a season, but he is still in his prime, and I think he'll still have an absolutely spectacular season. What about you, man?
And you pretty much had to pray that he wouldn't score more than one in a game. You were just, like, sitting there on your knees, just like, come on, Jamie, just don't. And then you see it bulge into the back, and then you're like, well, I knew that was never going to last.
So Benji asks, will Libby Kakache, aka Roberto Carlos, secure his big money move away from St. Truden? Now, personally, I said this last episode, I think he's too good for St. Truden. That's just my opinion. What do you think, Toby? Do you reckon he'll secure the big move?
And recently, he's been playing on the bench, so it's not looking good for him right at this point in time. I think it is form-based, though.
Yeah,
obviously not been having good games, so he's been benched a bit, but I think he needs to get out of Belgium, to be honest.
I saw there was a link to him going to Lens. Was it Lens in the League One? And currently, I think last season they finished 5th in League One. It's just a rumour, though. It didn't happen. It's definitely not happening. But imagine, like, he would fit a League One, like a mid-table League One, fighting for, like, Conference League football or something. He'd fit that really well, I reckon, eh?
I feel like Lens would be an actually really cool team for him to go to, because it's not too, like, a world-class franchise, which he might get star-studded or something, but it's, like, a decent that he could grow in a league playing against people like Messi, Ramos, Mbappe, etc.
It's not like a big enough club for him to have an insane amount of pressure on, or even fight for the left back spot. Because I know Lens have got, is it Klaus? I only know him because he got a 90 rated tots on FIFA, to be completely honest. But Lens actually had a relatively good season last season. Getting 5th is actually really good for his standards, and I think that gets them Conference League. I think they get some Conference League in the league. It's either, I don't think it's Europa. I think 1st and 2nd is UCL, and then it's 3rd and 4th Europa, and then it's, I think, 5th and 6th is Conference, because obviously the League One standard is not amazing.
Because I think a 5th and 6th might be the league qualifications.
Yeah, but nah, I mean, I don't know, I hope he does, but I think he'll probably stay at St. Truden for a little bit longer.
He won't go to Lens because that was a transfer on a role-playing account.
We fully fell for a group chat as well.
Everyone get ratioed.
Honestly, man. We all fell for it. We thought it was like a true, maybe it's a journalist saying he's actually got links to Lens, but no, it's just a fucking random don behind his computer screen. So, yeah. Sarpreet Singh has been on fire the past weekend with 2 assists, and I believe he's at 5 goals/assists in 4 games for Regensburg, who are currently top of the 2nd Bundesliga right now. Like, he's genuinely probably going to be the Bundesliga 2 player of the month. I mean, I don't see why not when he's having a literally monster performance after monster performance. But the question comes from Scrivy. He's been on fire with 2 assists. Do you think he can continue that form for the rest of the season? Why or why not? What do you think, Toby?
Yes. I think he will. Do believe in Singh.
You got to believe in seeing, mate. I reckon yes and no. He'll have a good season. I reckon he'll get more than 10 goals and 10 assists. He'll have a really good season. But obviously, getting 5 goals, assists in 4 games, eventually it's bound to drop off a little bit. Because, I mean, otherwise he'd, finish with, I think it's 36 games in Bundesliga too, because he's only 18 teams. Or it might be 30, I think it might be 34 games, actually. So if he keeps going at this rate, 40 goals, assists in 34 games is not likely at all. So
he's
his form will drop
22
off.
tots.
Imagine. Yeah, it'll drop off a little bit, but I still think he'll have an absolutely spectacular season and finish with 20 plus goals / assists. If he starts every game and doesn't get injured, obviously. That is. So
I
reckon
have
yes and no.
really high. I have high expectations for him, to be honest, at this point. I think the second Bundesliga is actually really good for him, and I think, in my opinion, maybe not everyone else's, but I think he should move to Jan Regensburg on a permanent, just because the Bayern thing hasn't been really working out.
I think if they get promoted to the Bundesliga, then he should 100% make it permanent at Regensburg, 100%.
Well, if they get promoted, Jan Regensburg are definitely going to want to buy him, and then Stink's playing starter Bundesliga.
Yeah, if they stay in Bundesliga too, then personally I don't think he should, because it'll kind of limit his potential, because by then he'd be 23. He's 22 now, so he'd be 23 next season. And 23 in the second Bundesliga isn't ideal. So if Regensburg do get promoted to the main Bundesliga, then 100% he should make that permanent. But if they don't, then obviously he's still Bayern's player, isn't he? So it's really their choice.
Yeah. He's at Bayern to the second team in the third league. But I'm thinking it might be a case like Jesse Lingard and West Ham. A really good season for them, but now that they know that they want him because he produced really good numbers, they're going to pretty much inflate the price of him.
Yeah, definitely.
Just make money, to be honest, because they are a big franchise club and they do want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, 100%. They could squeeze, I don't know, probably. To be fair, it is tough to put a price on Sarprat Singh, because, he had one good season in the second Bundesliga, obviously still owned by Bayern. That's always going to add value, being owned by one of the biggest clubs of all time. That's always going to add some value. And knowing Bayern, they could probably squeeze 5 to 10 million for him, which could be wrong. They'd probably be up there with one of the highest New Zealand transfers. I don't know how much.
I can't see Sling going for more than 5 mil, to be honest.
I mean, if he has another good season in the second Bundesliga.
You have to realise that there's a second league team in that. Even though Bayern are big, they know that they can't demand that much money.
That is true, but I would also say, to put it into perspective, it does depend what club he's going to. If they do want to make the fee permanent to Regensburg, obviously they won't be able to get 5 mil because Regensburg don't have the money for that. But I mean, if you're looking at Joe Bell, which we'll get into the rumours soon, I don't know. I feel like he's valued at like $1 million, or he's valued at like 500k. So if Joe Bell is valued at that, then surely Sarprat Singh will be valued at like at least 3 or 4 million. And
Sarprat Singh's market value right now is £720,000.
That's what I mean. Like, that's way too low. That is way too low. And
Joe Bell is just under 500k, so about 470 for.
Yeah, that's just that just puts into perspective how inaccurate that market value is, because Joe Bell didn't he have like there's rumours around like a 1 million transfer offer or something, and I think Vikings want a shit ton for him. $1 million. Yeah, $1 million New Zealand
dollars.
I mean, so it kind of,
or £500,000.
I don't think Bayern would sell Sarprat Singh for £800,000. It has to be at least in the millions.
Yeah, I could see him going in the millions.
I reckon 3 or 4 million is probably fair. But as I said, I mean, if he has an absolutely unreal season, like if he finishes on a very, very good, and Regensburg do get promoted, then technically he's no longer a second Bundesliga. Yeah, 100%. And like I said,
be going straight up in value.
Yeah, and also like Bayern, one of the biggest clubs of all time. They're always going to squeeze. Like, you don't see much big clubs selling players for like £700,000. You don't really see that often at all.
This one was sent in by SNDRS74. Outside of the standard top 5 leagues, how would you rate the 6 to 10 leagues? Liga NOS made the 6th. Well, it obviously makes the 5th because of the current rankings, but does MOS feature? Does A-League feature, Davis?
So, I mean, if you guys don't know, big good news, Liga NOS, the Portuguese league, has now officially overtaken Ligue 1 as a top 5 leagues, and it's pushed Ligue 1 down to the 6th most hardest league, you could say, or the biggest league. So it's crazy to know that Messi, Neymar, obviously Mbappe's probably leaving, but it's crazy to know that Neymar, Messi, and Ramos are no longer playing in a top 5 league. It is absolutely crazy, and this is not our opinions, this is like confirmed from like the actual FIFA rankings or UEFA rankings it is, and it's based on like European success and like clubs size and stuff. So yeah, Ligue 1 is now officially the 6th biggest. Now, what SNDR, I'm pretty sure his real name is Logan, what he is saying is to rank for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th teams in our opinion. So what me and Toby have done is we've both put down our opinions of 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th of the biggest leagues and most competitive leagues, you could say. So I'll go through my list first and we'll go over to Toby. So for me, 7th I've put Eredivisie, 8th I've put Super League, which is a Turkish league, 9th I put the CSL, the Chinese Super League, and in 10th I put the MLS, which I will explain why later on. Toby, what's your list looking like?
So my list is looking kind of similar. We've got the Eredivisie in 7th, the Turkish league in 8th, but I've swapped around 9 and 10 to make MLS in front of the CSL.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, I know there's going to be, and for reference as well, the first, like, obviously official rankings is Premier League, 2nd is La Liga, 3rd is Serie A, 4th Bundesliga, 5th Liga NOS, which is a Portuguese league, and 6th Liga, and remember, these are the official rankings. Now, I think there's going to be controversy around the MLS one. The reason I put mine 10th, MLS 10th, I'm not saying it's an easy league, but it's really hard because I think what they've done for Prem, La Liga, Serie A, all of that, they have based the rankings off of, I think, European success and, or say success, European football and like club success in a general. So it's very hard to rank MLS on this list because they don't have European football, obviously, because they're not in Europe. But I think they're still a competitive league, and I'd say they're a big league, definitely still. And obviously, the Netherlands league have got Ajax, PSV, they've got some good competitors in there. The Turkish league football is massive in Turkey, and the CSL, obviously, you've got some quality players there. I don't think it's a crazily competitive league, the CSL, but it's got to make the list, doesn't it?
Yeah. The controversy with 9 and 10 is the fact that they're both money teams, but I feel like MLS has a bit of talent and I guess rules. I mean, the CSL is, you see just a lot of washed up footballers.
Facts, yeah.
I mean, like, you've got Oscar, who hasn't really featured in a top 5 league since like 2014 or something. But, like, I can't even think of people right now. There's Mark Howe, who I've never heard of.
Exactly, that is right. Like, they offer a lot of money. But the MLS does do that as well. So that's why I think MLS and CSL are definitely going to be the 9th and 10th. Because, Higuain is one in the MLS. Obviously, he's old. MLS is just offering him. I think he's at Inter Miami.
Hernandez.
Exactly. Ibrahimovic went to LA Galaxy and people thought he was going to end his career there. But no, my man's pushing on 40 and he's playing the Serie A. So, big up Ibra. But I'd say MLS and CSL is definitely where the older players do go. And they offer a lot of money. But obviously no disrespect towards the leagues. But still very competitive. And MLS and USA in general, I'm not going to lie, have some absolutely spectacular talents. I've got McKinney in there. I don't know, just in general, USA looking really good. Pulisic, and what's his name? Is it Weah? Timothy Weah? But I've got some really nice talents coming up. Yeah, so no disrespect to them, but obviously it is very hard to put them ahead of Eredivisie and a Turkish league where football, we're now regularly playing in the Europa League, Conference League, all of that. But yeah, obviously
the Super League is really competitive with Besiktas, Galatasaray. You've got Fenerbahce. There's just so many rivalries, and it's like a really good atmosphere in the fans.
Yeah,
and like
100%.
like a rivalry atmosphere that you don't normally see in modern day football, because like the top 5-6 leagues, it's just all about the money, and then we're Super League where there's not much money, there's just a lot more atmosphere and it feels more proper football.
Yeah, and with Eredivisie, I mean, that's just because I've got quality teams. Ajax are phenomenal. Like, Ajax are a really good team. I mean, to be fair, it's one of the leagues where it is usually one-sided. Ajax seem to always basically win it. But, I mean, you don't want to rule off PSV. Usually they finish like 10 points behind them in second. There's PSV, and I think there's another team in there in the Eredivisie that does well. But Ajax play UCL football regularly, so that puts them up there. Obviously, they made the semi-finals of a UCL a few years back, and Tottenham beat them. So yeah, you got to put some respect on Ajax's name, and the Eredivisie as well. Their fans are absolutely wild, and I've got a fucking ping new kit. Their food kit is absolutely ping.
Well, if only Liverpool would make a "You'll Never Walk Alone" kit or something.
Dude, I honestly don't know why they wouldn't. Like, if they do like a kit around their slogan, they'll 100% make bang from that.
Oh no, because the Ajax kit is based on the team song, the band song.
Right.
It was like so it's like someone. It was a pre-season match against Crystal Palace and Ajax, and I think someone had to be entertainment for some reason, and he started playing Three Little Birds. Then the crowd started singing along, and they had a really good atmosphere. And then it was kind of adopted in I think it was a derby. I'm not sure, but started singing it. It just became really massive in Ajax, and then obviously they made kits out of it and just started merchandise.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you got to put respect on Eredivisie, but yeah, that is our ranks. That is our list for the 7th to 10th leagues. Once again, it's just our opinion. Let me know if you guys are watching this on YouTube. Let me know. Do you guys agree with our 7th to 10th list? What would you change? Do you think the MLS and CSL deserve to be on that list? Because there are still some other good leagues in there as well that we did not mention. The Belgian league is one we didn't put in. There's the Mexican league. Personally, I still wouldn't put the Belgian league over MLS. I'd probably say the Belgian league is 11th.
It's just interesting to see different leagues and then how you'd rank them, because you don't normally think about that with the other leagues.
Yeah, sure. Because the Belgian league does have what's his name, Club Barrage. Yeah, and they got Kakache, the best left back of all time, But they have got what's his name, the Club Barrage, which are playing in the UCL, are actually in a group of death in it. So yeah, same. I'll say the same thing, but yeah, I should have pronunciation. But yeah, they're a shout. And also the Greek league. Olympiakos, and I think there was another team in the Greek league as well. I think it was Olympiakos. Yeah, personally, I wouldn't put it up there either, because it's one of those leagues where there's usually only 2 big teams competing, and then it's just a bunch of the other ones which aren't great. So yeah, but let me know.
That just sounds like the Eredivisie.
I mean, yeah, that's true as well.
No, but they don't have as much money, and they're not playing UCL.
Yeah, and Eredivisie, yeah, they go far. I've gone really far in the UCL, and I feel like the atmosphere is a lot better.
Ajax got kicked out by Spurs in the semis, was it?
Yeah, they got it was like a last minute goal as well.
3-0 lead or something.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Okay, now we're on to predictions. We're gonna horribly and inaccurately guess the scores for the upcoming matches this weekend. Davis, take us away with Burnley versus Leeds.
3-1 Leeds. 3-1 Leeds. I'm sorry, Burnley
really?
fans. Chris Wood, Leeds counter or press is absolutely phenomenal. Leeds are a good team. They finished I think 11th or 12th last year. I don't know, man. I feel like
should have seen them pressing against Liverpool.
That is true, but I do feel like Leeds have the quality, so I feel like they will overcome them. I do think Burnley will get on the score sheet. Bamford, Rafinha is incredible. I reckon Rafinha and Alan Saint-Maximin are the 2 players that are the best wingers outside of a big 6, in my opinion. Absolute ballers.
True.
I'm going to say Burnley 1, Leeds 3. Obviously, I hope that's not the result, but yeah. What about you, Toby? Who's winning it?
I'm not sure. This is a really close game, actually, in my opinion. Burnley versus Leeds. I'm gonna say 2-1 to Leeds.
2-1 to
Going
Leeds.
to
Fair enough.
make it kind of close. Because, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair. I like it close. Do you reckon Chris
I'm
will
gonna-
score?
I'm gonna say this is very but I'm gonna say plays, I think Dwight McNeil.
That's the
What
one,
position's he?
Yeah. I think he's.
I think he plays winger. Yeah, I think he'll score.
Right. I
think he'll
think
score.
I think Burnley will get a pin and Chris Wood will score a pin, but they'll still lose 3-1. Chris Wood, hey, it's a goal to go towards his 10 goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when I said earlier, do I think Chris Wood will score 10 plus goals? And I said Burnley have some tough fixtures. Obviously, Liverpool. Leeds was the one I was missing. Then I've got Arsenal. And then I think I've got some easier fixtures after that. Now, next one is St. Truden, or STVV, which is Kakache's club, versus Sukal Bruges. Okay, I'm probably butchering that one.
Cercle
Right, now-
Bruges.
Hey, same thing. Now, predictions for that one, Toby. I'm honestly not sure on the position that their opponent, the club that are facing is in, but what's your predictions?
Since before Kikachu's transfer, I didn't know who St. Truden were, but I knew who Cercle Bruges were. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 to Cercle Bruges.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'm being optimistic. 1-1. 1-1.
Ooh.
I'm going to be
Interesting.
optimistic. I'm going to say, 1-1. It's going to be I think, it'll be quite a boring game. I think it'll be a draw. I don't think it'll be 0-0. There'll definitely be some goals. So I'm going to go and say 1. I'm going to say 1-1.
And then we've got FC Hausinger versus HB Koog.
Well, Helsing are actually top of the. Is it the Norway? No, what league? Is it the Danish league?
It's
Or
the Danish, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a Danish. It's not Norwegian league. We know. I think we know this last time. It's not the Norwegian league. I think it's the Danish league, and they're currently top. With obviously Mclaren and Elijah Just. They got a 3-3 draw last time, 2-0 up, then they went 3-2 down. Mclaren, like I said, the two Kiwis getting on the score sheet. I still
Danish.
think, the top of the, Danish. So I think now top of the Danish league, I'm going to say a 2-0 win to FC Helsingør. And I'm going to say no Kiwis are going to get on the score sheet. But I do think Elijah Just will get an assist.
I think a Kiwi will get on the score sheet, and I think it'll be probably 1-0. We'll say that. I think if the Kiwis are more likely to score, I'd say it's Elijah Just.
Yeah,
Fine.
definitely. Now, next up, we've got Viking
Because he's got
FK.
more. Yeah.
We've got Viking FK versus Rosenborg. Toby, what's your predictions for that one?
I don't really know Viking FK that much. I've only just started, getting to know them because of the two Kiwis, Stensness and Joe Bell. But, I'm tough as well. I'm going to say go 1-0.
I'm going to go
I'm feeling
2-1 Viking. The only thing I know about Viking is I've got a massive fan base on Twitter. I genuinely put a tweet out and I said that Joe Bell is very good, and I got usually my tweets average between literally 3 and 10 likes with my actives and that on Twitter. That Joe Bell tweet, I just said Joe Bell is very good. I got I think 40 or 50 likes, and 45 of them was Viking fans. I didn't even have a Viking hashtag. Genuinely, it was Viking fans who probably followed Joe Bell's tag on Twitter, so it came up on their page, or they searched for Joe Bell's name.
Yeah, or they
Viking
just search
have
for
got a
Joe
massive-
Bell's name in general.
yeah, like on Twitter, you can search for the names and it comes up in tweets. So I don't know, Viking have got a massive fan base. That's all I know. I'm gonna say 2-1 Viking. It'll be close for sure, but Viking will definitely come away with the dub.
And that is it from us this week. Thank you guys for listening. The support is unreal. Make sure to follow at Ferns Podcast on Twitter so you never miss a question period or notification. We're sorry for the delay of this episode release, but we should be back in routine by the next episode. Thanks for your understanding. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Looks to get in! Burnley lead! What a finish from Chris Ward!
Moments, the ball is good, and the goal is good! New Zealand incredibly! Winston